Now what will it be? Death or exile?
Hello, and welcome to another Exile film review. Today I'll be talking about the director's cut of The Current War and making my passionate plea for you to see this film. This historical drama, set in America in the 1890s, is about the fiercely competitive race between two major electricity titans, the less well-known George Westinghouse, played by Michael Shannon, and the very famous Thomas Edison, played by Benedict Cumberbatch, to determine who will harness the power of nature and light up the modern world. Now, this film has a curious history, because the first version of the film suffered from the extensive studio interference, with notes about making Edison more likable and to have what the director called unearned pathos. This version of the film premiered at the Toronto Film Festival in September of 2017 to some pitiful reviews despite the stellar cast. It was supposed to be released in November of 2017, but was delayed due to the charges against Harvey Weinstein and sold to Lantern Entertainment. In this time, the film was extensively reworked by the director, including shooting 5 additional scenes and completely changing the score, and 2 years later, the Current War director's cut was finally released in the US in October of 2019 and is now available to buy or rent. Alfonso Gomez-Rejon, the director, has worked with Scorsese for years, who is an executive producer on this film. I won't read out Alfonso's entire bio, but check out his previous projects, even as assistant director, which are impressive. In the end, this film stands out as a monument to artistic integrity, because this director's cut has been much better received than the compromised version. For that reason, I feel strongly about speaking up about this film, and because I don't see enough interest in it at present. Perhaps people think the film has little to offer them, as the light bulb is not really very exciting anymore. I can understand, because it's so easy to take something that is so prevalent today for granted. We turn the lights on and off without giving it a second thought. By extension, we easily take the very real human beings and genius behind these great moments of incredible progress for granted too. So, it takes a film like this one that delves into the challenges that these men face to change the world, so that we can appreciate what it's like to be on the verge of these quantum leaps of progress. Additionally, I found this film to be a very human one that shows the moral struggles, the interpersonal consequences and trappings of being a genius, visionary, creative type, the intense competition and pressure to produce and to protect your own ideas, and the need to work with the money men in realizing those ideas. The high-caliber cast, as I expected, all deliver energetic, nuanced performances, balancing the ambition and the emotion of the characters. The performances of their loved ones, wives, and friends of the lead characters beautifully round out and give greater depth to this story. The set and costume design are to die for, absolutely exquisite, capturing the richness of the time period. The new musical score that unfortunately I cannot find online anywhere was a perfect complement to the feeling of modern progress in the story. I read reviews critical of this film saying that there was excessive or pointless use of filters, Dutch angles, and split screens, and reading this was disappointing to me, because there already exists a plethora of documentaries on Edison and Tesla, and those are worth watching, but this film reminds you that it's not purely a historical documentary, but is cinema, a painting, a love letter to the struggles of these men, this time, and their legacy. The Dutch angles, for example, are not pointless, as they reflect the uneasy feeling you get when you feel like everything is about to change or is threatened. Christopher Nolan uses Dutch angles in this way in Inception, where Arthur is fighting off one of Robert Fisher's subconscious security agents. And the split screens are like a series of snapshots, Instagram stories if you will, of the impact on people as they witness a modern marvel. I find the criticism of this film frustrating because the film is meant to be art rendered artfully. It's not a documentary. Capturing the beauty is the point of art. Another criticism I saw was the lack of making Tesla, played wonderfully by Nicholas Hoult, the hero of the story. But that does a disservice to what the director intended. Tesla does come across very well, but we must look beyond these exact historical figures or any so-called winner of the current war, which oversimplifies the film despite the setup. Much like Batman v Superman, who will win is less the point in that film as well, but about the ideologies and methods of these men. We need to pay attention to the deeper thematic elements, like the reality of human mortality, ego versus humility, the moral compromises, the unintended consequences, and just how far is one willing to go to leave a legacy to really appreciate this film. Technology, too, is often a double-edged sword, and this is where the film really succeeds for me, because this is worth pondering with every new invention that thrusts itself into our daily lives. And the film opens with this juxtaposition: man and nature, man and machine. First we hear the immense roar and power of Niagara Falls, dwarfing Edison as he walks. Then the camera pans upward to the wide expanse of the starry night sky, and then down again to a close-up of the rushing wheels of a man-made locomotive carrying Westinghouse. These details are not to be missed to grasp the truth and beauty of this film. I truly hope you'll give this one a watch and think deeply about how these elements are at work today in our technological world and in the business of cinema, and show your support for artists and artistic integrity. I hope my review has proved interesting and helpful to you. Thank you again for listening. If you enjoy our content, I would really appreciate your like and subscribe. And as always, stay exiled.